Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And today, let's talk business. Wait, what? Wait, dude, hold back. Hello, everybody. We're going to talk about cryptocurrencies. Aren't you all excited? Yeah, I'm excited too. Yes, I'm the hater that comes up on this channel and I hate. Wait, dude, hater, you ain't coming up on this channel today. We're not doing the haterade voice. We're not doing any of that. So if you are here new to the channel, definitely comment, like, subscribe. It's more than a sports channel. We're going to talk about things because number one, look, there's a lot of people that are hurting in this economy and everything. And before you get into some investment thing here, number one priority, get your stuff in order, because some of you guys will come into these things thinking you're going to do magician, magic tricks, and you're going to turn your life around with $10 that you're rubbing together at a time. No, that's not how things happen statistically. One person out of so many hundreds of thousands might be able to do it. But I'm just got to tell you right now, it is very unlikely. First, if you are broke as dirt, get yourself a job. If you're getting yourself a job, get another job. If you got that job, get another job on top of the job, and then start saving up, and then dedicate yourself to that job. Make sure you keep socially aware so you don't become one of those weird people that aren't going to be able to communicate, right? Unless that's just your personality anyway, right? So that's what we got to say. Now, I would like to say number two, none of what I am saying is financial advice, investment advice, legal advice. You do your own research, all right? This is for educational purposes only. And with that education, we got an academy that helps you learn my mindset on these things and what I see the way, the path forward, and what has worked for me and what has worked for other people, right? So with that being said, I got to say that disclaimer. Basically, you're forced to say the disclaimer, even if you want to or not. But I got to say the disclaimer because I want to let you guys know, don't start going overboard when you hear the information. We got a couple people that are members. And with that being said, if you want to do that, let me first tell you what we got here before you join the Patreon and you get into that academy on the second tier, right? So what are you looking at on the screen? Other than these like cute little South Park like animations right here, and then the snowman and all of these people that are watching. I don't know, that's kind of weird that they're standing there right here, but you see the transactions that are happening on Ethereum and Bitcoin in real time. This is what's happening right now. If you click on one of these, you can actually see, oh man, it's going too fast. You can see how much the people are paying. You can see their transactions. I'm not going to do that, right? You can see the transaction. That was on Ethereum. This is on Bitcoin. You can see how much is being sent. You can see this much is being sent. You can 0.0137 Bitcoin. Then you can multiply that by the price of Bitcoin, which is roughly 40,000, and that'll get you how much they just sent. Like, that's how public these things are. You can't identify the person, but you can see what's being sent or not. And you can see it's so many buses for Ethereum. A lot more people and transactions are taking place on Ethereum. So you know where the action is happening. It's a lot more places where it's coming from. Now, how does this help you out, right? That's what you want to know. How does this help you out? Well, number one, look, you go over to this thing. You want to get a wallet, right? Something called a wallet. There are different ways, depending on if you're international or here. We got an audience that's spread all over the place. If you're in the US, you can get Bitcoin via Cash App, and you got to do some verification. All these governments want to know what the heck you're doing, so you aren't doing anything like money laundering, okay? You got to cover your bases. If you want to do things behind the scenes, this ain't the channel for that. I'm not dumb enough to talk about things like those things or even have the wherewithal to even stand for that, okay? So with that being said, you got to cover yourself. Now, there's something called MetaMask with this wolf right here. You can go to metamask.com and you can download that as an add-on to your browser or a wallet app. Then when you buy that, which you can use something called crypto.com. Yes, there's a referral fee for that, or a referral for that. I don't need that referral because I don't need to sell you those things, okay? I'm going to tell you the information as it helps you. You can go to crypto.com, which quite frankly, it also has an asset called crypto.com. They did some very well rebranding right here, crypto.com coin, CRO. You can get that. You can see as this asset grows and sinks and ebbs and flows, but crypto.com has an excellent one. They have a Visa debit card that actually operates with them. Very, very useful. I like it. It has different levels of it. Check it out. Now, there are other ways to do that. You can go on Coinbase.com and it's probably a little bit better to get Coinbase Pro. You can go to Binance.com, which is actually under investigation by the SEC for potential money laundering. So I don't know about that one. But as far as what they do, they're just going to ask you more identification. They might actually ask you to record a video. I know some people are not comfortable with that. Me personally, I am not comfortable with that. Recording a video, then uploading it to some site that might get hacked. Okay, no, not going to happen. But with that being said, how does this work? After you've gotten those steps, that's the beginning part. So if you need to ask where to get buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or something like that, I just gave you some safe ways to buy that, okay? Those are safe ways. You want to do your research on that again, you can search that in Google, crypto.com, MetaMask. I think they now have a buy option. As you can see, I don't buy it on there, but I can transfer things there, right? I actually have MetaMask in the upper right-hand corner here, but you cannot see that. It's part of this browser add-on that works with Google Chrome, but it's an add-on for the browser that I'm using, which is called Vivaldi. So you can look on coinmarketcap.com. You can see that there are nearly 9,000 cryptocurrencies. How the flub do you actually tell the difference, and how is it going to make you some money? Well, like I said, after you've gotten your house in order, if you are dead broke, you get yourself a job, and then you start saving up, and then you start putting money away, and then you start paying off, paying off your bills. That's the number one. Getting some food in your belly. Maybe you miss a meal here or two because you're trying to save some money up and stack it on the side and stacking up, and not just getting the money so you can take out a loan to get a car and do depreciating asset and then go into more debt. We're not going to do that on this channel. We're talking about getting yourself out and flying up, just like head and shoulders above the rest. With the athletes, we're going to be head and shoulders above the rest of the general population, as most people, including millionaires, are living paycheck to paycheck. So in that case, we want to make sure we give you the keys for this, right? So key number one, after you've gotten your wallet in order, your life in order, right? You made sure you became a plumber, a technician, you got the IT professional certification, or you can hire people. You can be that middleman that says, all right, I got a tech job for you guys. I'm going to put together 5 IT professionals. Now I'm going to do that. That's how some of these 14-year-olds before, if you look them up, they have started like a consultancy company, and then they go up to a company. Oh, this person looks like they need a website. I'm going to take a general fee. I'm going to give them a service after I found out how much you, the IT professional, charge. I'm going to say, all right, and I'm going to do some price on top of that, some retainer fee, and then boom, I send you your assignment. I have your folder and I match it up to you. Boom, you're sent it, right? Just like over here. Now, the other version of that, after you've gotten your life in order, you've looked at those cryptocurrencies, you found out one of those, because I'm going to give you some right here, right? Don't want to leave people hanging. So here's some website called cryptofees.info, cryptofees.info. You can see that right here, Ethereum. Think of whatever device you're using. If you're on YouTube right now, they are now making money off of you. You just probably watched an ad, probably an unskippable one, and then there's a skippable ad, right? Because I have ads on here. That's the way that I can make a small, I mean a small amount of money off of these YouTube channels, right? Or off of these YouTube videos. Now, if you have seen an ad right here, imagine that you can actually make money off the ad, even if you're watching it too, right? So you can be the person that bought Ethereum. Now they make money off of your fee, but now that you got Ethereum, you're making money off of the other fees. You get what I'm saying? So now that you got YouTube, think of it like that. But Ethereum is equivalent to the device that you're using. If you're using a phone, which most of you are, according to my analytics, a few of you are using TVs or some other devices, and a few of you are using, I forgot what that other thing is. It's less than 1%. So with that being said, so if you're using a computer, for instance, you're probably using Windows or Mac OS or Linux. Now, Windows and Mac, they're charging, and some of the Linux setup distros, they will charge you some money. Now, what is built on top of that is called an app, an application. You might have Microsoft Word, Adobe Photoshop, or something like that. Those now are charging you money to get those, or unless you bootleg. Hey, I ain't got anything to say about it. Now, let's say if you're using Android or Apple OS or iOS, right? Well, now you got all these Candy Crush or something. So Ethereum is like the base layer of that. That's what it's called, a base layer. It's the underground. It's the road Where all of these other things are the buildings, the trees that are growing up on top of the dirt and everything. Ethereum is like the equivalent to that, right? Two different metaphors. Ethereum could be like the road or the dirt, and everything else that grows on it or is built on top of it, that's where it is. Originally, Binance was a copy of Ethereum. Then they changed the code because these are open source, most of them, and then now they became their own. Now, there are things that use the Ethereum network, right? Let me try to find one on here that I am familiar with for sure that are here. Well, Cardano used to use them. Polygon uses the Ethereum network to a smaller extent, but they try to make it cheaper. So actually here, synthetics, I wanted to use a different one because there are some here. Uniswap, actually Uniswap is the biggest one. So I should have started with that. Uniswap right here, it's a big exchange. So the exchange is like, hey, if I got Bitcoin and I want to trade for a US dollar tether, or if I got, well, it's not going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Ethereum, and I'm going to trade for another tether, right, which is equivalent to the US dollar. Let's go over here. So you can trade for this. This is not Uniswap. This is something called Aave.com. Once again, you can always review these things. I want to try to keep this short, sweet, and to the point as possible because this could easily be an hour. But I'm going to try to keep this to 15 minutes. Hopefully, my internal clock is at 15 minutes. So let's say that you went to Uniswap and you're the person that holds Ethereum. If you're holding Ethereum and you're getting paid fees off of other people using Ethereum, now I am harshly, and I mean harshly, oversimplifying all of this information so that you can swallow this and eat it up, okay? If I want to get technical here, you need 32 Ethereum as it stands now. It used to be some other different amount, but you need 32 Ethereum, which each Ethereum is over $2,000 now, in order for you to do something called staking, and so that you can get paid off of their fees and other transactions. Now, there are other cryptocurrencies called, here's one right here, Zilliqa. You can have the bare minimum amount of Zilliqa. It might be 10 or 20 or 100, maybe 1,000, and each Zilliqa costs about 5 to 7 or 10 cents, right? At this current moment of that I am recording this on August 3rd, 2021. Now, that by reference is like, what? Let's say you wanted 6,000. You're spending like $60. Wow, okay? But with Ethereum, 32 times 2,500 or 2,000, wherever the fluctuation is, well, that's a lot more, right? So you might say, well, I can't afford the other one. What if I can't afford one Zilliqa and it's only 20 cents or 10 cents or 5 cents? In that case, I'm going to say, sir or madam, I think you need to go get a job if you can't afford that very small amount. That means something else is going on. Even in your country and your currency, if you can't afford that, don't worry about this. Worry about getting your life in order, and then try to get the bits and pieces that you can. Get your life in order. I will not suggest anybody or even think that somebody should do this unless they got at least the bare minimum. Everybody's trying to improve and do better. Obviously, nothing's going to be perfect. So that means you don't want to wait for perfect, but you want to make sure that you got some common sense, right? So you get Zilliqa. You can get paid from people using the Zilliqa network. You get Ethereum with the simplified example I have here. Somebody uses Uniswap, you get paid some of the Uniswap fees. Some of it goes to the holders here, and then some of it goes to Ethereum. If they use Aave, since that was based on Ethereum, some of it goes to Aave, some of it goes to Ethereum. If you use Compound, which is based on it, some of it goes here, some of it goes to Ethereum. You get what I'm saying? That's why Ethereum right here, all of these little South Park people and these giant whales here, they must be sitting in large amounts. You see so many more of these than on Bitcoin because it's a lot more built on Ethereum's network, which means it sometimes goes slower and sometimes it's more expensive. You can see that Bitcoin's fees, when they pop up, is 26 cents right here. It's $2, and the median transfer fee is $2. So it's going to be cheaper at the current moment. Sometimes Bitcoin is actually much more expensive and sometimes it's not. So that it just depends on the day. You can see the fees that are generated here. People will try to sell you when you get into this cryptocurrency market and when you read on these articles. And that's why I said my academy is so good, because we're going to help you get through that. They're going to say something like this, which, I mean, it's a good project in its own, but it's a kind of full of error. It doesn't have a real working product yet. So people are investing on potential. They're saying something called Cardano, which is doing heavy work to expand into enterprise, aka businesses, and in Africa. Notice, side note, There's a Silicon Valley 2 being created in Ghana right now, heavily invested on from American investors. A lot of people are sleeping on these things, but there's a lot of good information that's out there. Silicon Valley 2 is being created in Accra, Ghana at this current moment. As I am speaking and you're listening to this, is being created right now. So with that being said, there are a lot of people that are saying, hey, look, we trashed up Africa, or other people trashed up Africa. Now let's start to build it. How are we going to make money off of that opportunity that's there? That's the strategy. Things go down, they get beat down in price, like what happens here. Things were beat down in price. Some people buy it up over a period of time, it gets exploded, and then they sell off on you right here. And then a price gets beat down, they buy it up over time, and then they sell it off to you. That's what happened in Africa. It's no different than any other part. War-torn country like Germany got beat down. They started offering cheap goods and services. Then everybody started relying on them for their carpentry and other things. Then they started getting built up. Now they're the number one, quote unquote, number one economy in Europe, right? So they're holding Europe on their back, even though a lot of these things, every country is doing debt-based economies. But the point is, that's how things work. So Africa is the new frontier for expansion. Same thing with certain parts of South America. So if you don't want to miss on those things, you want to be part of that new future that sees that Africa is going to be expanding in its economies in different countries there. Notice how I said economies. I'm not one of those people that says Africa and its economy. Economies, countries are in Africa. We too old to be saying Africa, a continent, a country, or continent. No, come on now. We got to get there. So before somebody comes in the comment section and say, well, it sounds like because of my accent is different than yours. No, I had to point that part out. Now, just like different places in South America, I want you all to be able to have the tools. Now, here, DAI, Gemini dollar, USD coin, and Tether. Before you know it, you're probably already using crypto. Before I get into that point, did you know that Visa did a deal with USD coin? You can search it right now. Back up everything that I'm saying. I don't like to say just BS stuff out loud. Notice I do that with Track. If somebody had stopped me in a live stream, I went and spent 35 to 45 minutes with this guy saying that Eugene was high altitude and all of these other things. And we proved that guy wrong. US can't reproduce their times outside of US. Proved them wrong. Multiple athletes over and over and over. Of course, you can always find people that won't, but if the majority of them are the top athletes, then there you go. With that being said, USD coin, you might be using a Visa card and not even knowing that eventually wide scale, you'll be using cryptocurrencies. Because some of you guys say, I will never use crypto. Man, I've heard that with so many things. I will never do that. And then they do it. I will never date that guy. And then she does. I will never do this, 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 and this. And they do. How about we change that never into how do I profit? How do I take advantage? How do I use this to my advantage? How do I thrive off of this opportunity, right? So what you can do is you can see this rate here that's much higher than your bank at 0.02%, right? This is 2.19%. And trust and believe Europe and you can confirm my European friends, they have negative interest rates in Europe. So that means instead of being 0.02, they got negative something, right? It could be negative 1%, negative 3%. What does that mean? You're paying for your money to sit there instead of you making some money in a savings account, because that's what these are. If what you're doing here is you're going to deposit this, they're loaning it out at these higher rates. You see the 3.84%, but you get 2.7%. Well, they're making the difference off of those. Then the APR borrow rate and the APR deposit rate. Deposit just basically means you're lending it. You're putting it here. They're lending it out. They're making their profits. They're giving you some of those profits. That is what you can see. But the difference here is in the cryptocurrency market, you can actually see how much money is on this digital bank, unlike Chase. Can you go up to Chase and say, how much money is there? They're probably going to start asking you for your ID. What is your purpose? What are you doing here? All of this information. Whereas all you got to do is download something called MetaMask, right? And then you could go to aave.com, and then you could deposit your crypto that you would have bought on Coinbase or wherever you got it, which is you would deposit Ethereum-based tokens, or you can have a quick swap, whatever. You can do Medic, aka Polygon. Those are other cryptocurrencies, by the way. You can look up what I just said. And then you can come in here, you can then deposit USD coin, which is based on Ethereum. and it's one based on Matic as well, by the way, which is cheaper than Ethereum. Ethereum might charge you $13 or $20, whereas Matic charges you a couple cents. But there's advantages and disadvantages to both, just for that. That's why you got to do the research or join our academy, and then you can learn them. But let's look at this. If you come on here, you can see exactly how much is borrowed. Look at this, $4 billion borrowed. The available money left over that's not borrowed is $1.5 billion. Can you go to Chase Bank and do that? The answer is no. Can you go to Deutsche Bank and do that? No. Can you go to whatever banks are in Jamaica for the large Jamaican contingency that watches this? The answer is a resounding heck no. So with that, you can see the actual real things here. You don't have to be manipulated. It's the actual truth. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. That's why I always talk about in track and field, we follow the numbers, the stats, the probabilities. And so that's what you're going to be doing here. You can deposit Ethereum here. You can deposit a wrapped Bitcoin here. There's so much that you can do on this Aave.com. Coin market cap. The purpose of this is that you can follow the rates and trends of these floating currencies and their dollar rates. There's a competitor to Ethereum. It's called Solana. That is a very good competitor, in my opinion. That's something that you may want to look at. The ticker symbol is SOL. Oh, wow. That's out of luck, huh? So SOL, and it's a very good competitor. Now, you could get Solana. There was something that I got on top of Solana the other day, and I'm like, wow, it was very frustrating to use. I can tell because they were decentralized. It was very, very, very frustrating to use. I am not going to lie with that. When I tried to use this one exchange on top of there, very frustrating to use. But I took the time and I was like, man, if I know how to do these things and navigate, and it's frustrating to me, you guys that are beginners are really going to be frustrated. And it's probably only going to take them a few months, and they're going to iron through some of those problems because they are a very new project compared to Ethereum that has been here since, I think, 2011 or so. And then Solana has only been here for a small, short amount of time within this last year. So they're going to iron through some of those issues. But as they're ironing through those, they are going to be able to, with investors, and remember, none of this is financial advice. So when I say going to be able to, that means potentially, okay? Potentially be able to increase your return on your investment. You get them at $34. What if they go up to 60? That's almost double whatever money that you had invested in. Now, obviously, they can go down too. We're focusing on the more positive aspects here, as over the last 24 hours, or the last 7 days, actually, they are up 30 or 24%. And you can see it green over here. Now, Polygon Medic. Now, this right here is the one that is on, well, I'm looking at this chart. The lowest price here was 1 cent, basically. The highest price was $2.70. This was back in October, that it was about almost 2 cents. Then this was back in May. Now, how do we know this? How do we know to sell? How did my academy know when to sell? How did they know to do what the research I presented there, and my mindset on how I approach these things? Well, we have this saying that we follow: sell in May and go away. Now, that is something that we could follow from the stock market. Now I'm getting into the trading aspect of other things, so I'm not going to go into that too much. But if you want to learn some more in-depth ways on how to do that, how do we detect exactly when? Because they're going to tell you that somebody called Elon Musk, he's manipulating the market. Oh, well, isn't selling May and go away a thing that happens basically almost every year? So statistically speaking, that most likely, that doesn't mean sell all of the asset, but most likely you're going to sell in around May. And then you're going to come back late August, around September, maybe October at the latest. But definitely you're going to be buying up in that part in August, September, and October. And then it's going to explode. What happened here? Well, looks like in October, it went down a little bit in November as a fake out thing. Accumulated December, and boom, it took off, right? We can look at this year after year on different assets and see them. Now, that's in an uptrend. In a downtrend, it kind of goes a little bit differently. It might have gone down a little bit more. But generally speaking, in an uptrend, it's about a sell in May and go away if the institutions are in control, which looks like it is in crypto. So if you guys are liking this content, don't forget to check out our Patreon. We just opened it on August 2nd. And we're now open for fans that would like to support the private content, talk crypto, and growing income, right? That's what we're about here. We're going to talk the business side of track and field on how to expand that as a sport, how to get athletes paid more. And most importantly, you, the viewers, I want to make sure that you are also making money as well. So I don't care if you personally here, when I say I don't care, I mean it to the sense of course, this is going to help support the content, right? This is going to help support me and everything that I'm doing here. But when I say I don't care if you join it or not, my whole priority is most people are living paycheck to paycheck, including people that are quote unquote millionaires, right? When I say quote unquote, they are millionaires on paper, but because they took out so much debt, because they kept saying, well, I need to expand on this house, take out a mortgage here. I'm doing a tinfoil hat thing trick. I'm going to get my cards credits. I'm going to get my flyer miles by spending more money. They're going to give me this free ticket, right? I'm going to get this free ticket, guy. This is what I'm going to do. I show you, I'm going to beat the system. Oh, you mean the multi-billion-dollar system that they're making sure they got all the data on us, every single one of us, right? No, 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 right? No, no, no. Make sure we get ourselves prepared for having 3 to 6 months, and especially in my opinion, I would say 6 months to a year worth of emergency expenses, of living expenses ahead in advance. Now that's some advanced level stuff. It says most people are living paycheck to paycheck. What is it? Sometimes they say over 50% and sometimes it's 80 or 90%. Now, I don't know which one of those, depends on what you're looking at the stat, but all of them agree that over 50% of people, statistically speaking, out of all the people that are subscribed to my channel and the other people that are ninja watching, that means between 51 and 80% of you all are living paycheck to paycheck. So you should take care of your family and your house first. Get yourself that job and get all of that stuff. That's what my priority is. And for the other ones that want to contribute, whether it's the $10 level or if you want to join in at this point, and the prices may change in the future, but as it stands, you want to join in at the Basic Academy, it'll be the $50 level. And part of that will go to the Crypto Academy. It's mainly supporting the animated videos that I want to do, but it's going to help talk about the Crypto Academy because that's something I like to talk about. And so you're going to have access to that anyway. Whether you are interested in that part or not, you just want to have the animated videos. If you so choose to, you will have that part too. With that being said, definitely check that in the link in the description below. Let me know if you guys like this content about learning about different things, because if you do, I'm going to make more of it. But if you don't, you can say the big middle finger, hey, dude, just close your mouth, stick to sports. And then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to still talk about this type of thing, but it might not be as frequent. I'm not going to just not do it, right? But if you do like it, then I'll do it more frequently. You get what I'm saying? I'll catch you all on the next one. Let's end off with this nice little image here of the South Park like animations. Peace.